Hey friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, we are going to be doing my weekly check-in for my September budget. This is the budget I wrote for the paycheck my husband received on September 14th. We're going to be taking a look at all of my spending that happened during the week and see essentially how I did with sticking to the budget. So I have already gone in and put in all of my spending for the week. That's something that we typically do together here on this channel, but I just did it on my own this week. I had some stuff going on, so it was easier just to kind of do it in my own time and not film it. But as you can see, we're looking at the week of September 14th through the 20th. We had some spending, but we also had some no-spend days. So overall, it wasn't too shabby of a week, I don't think. We're just going to fill in the actual columns here of my paycheck budget, as well as what I spent for my weekly check-in. So that's the sort of thing you're interested in. Just keep right on watching. So we're going to start out here with my checking section of my paycheck budget. If you like this worksheet, you can get it on my Etsy shop. It is available as a printable download. I have this fun pattern that I created for September. I also have some patterns for October. If you're interested, you can buy individual worksheets or bundles. They really help to put your budget down on paper. So under the checking section, I write in anything that I'm going to pay using my debit card or with my checking account, and that includes all of my bills. So my bills on my calendar are written in this blue color. I like to use a color coding system to keep track of my transactions. That's just what works best for me. And so you can see my bills here are in blue. They've all been checked off, which means they've all been paid. So I just need to go ahead and write in the amounts. So for Michigan Gas, it was $22.55, and we budgeted $23. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that in the actual column, $22.55. If I'm under budget, I like to write in black ink. If I'm over budget, I will write it in red ink, just so that it's really clear on the page where I've gone over budget. But since this is under budget, it gets written in black. For DTE, I budgeted $193, and that is exactly what I paid. So that was as anticipated. And then for Lowe's, that is a minimum payment on my Lowe's credit card. You can see that here in blue. I did pay that $30 minimum payment. So that was all as expected. Using my calculator here, I can just add up all these totals. $22.55 plus $193 plus $30 for a total of $245.55, which I'm not sure you guys could even see that, but that is what that says. So we are under budget in this category. Now for my cash envelope category, this is going to be as anticipated because I'm looking at the amount that I took out of my budget to use for these categories, not necessarily what I actually spent. We'll look at what I actually spent for my weekly check-in here. Since I have been taking any money left over at the end of the week and rolling it over into the new week, the weekly check-in has been working out well for me with that. So we'll get to the weekly check-in in a minute. I just want to go ahead and go through this really quickly. All of this, of course, was as planned. I took that money out and stuffed my cash envelopes right after I wrote this budget. You would have seen that if you watched that video. And so that was $360 as anticipated. Same with my sinking funds. All of this was just as expected. Let me go ahead and fold this over and write these in as well. Okay, and that was a total of $410 that I put into my sinking funds. For our extra debt payments, I budgeted $250 to go to Lowe's. That was from our child tax credit. And if you look here, you can see I put my extra debt payments in this dark gray color, and that payment was made at $250. So that was as planned as well. This was a really good week. We pretty much stuck to the plan overall. And then I can just fill in these actual amounts. I don't write in the income because I don't share my husband's income, but we set aside $245.55 for our checking, $360 in cash envelopes, $410 in sinking funds, and $250 in extra debt payments. Also, I did put the $20 into the Pirate Booty Savings Challenge like I expected. So that's it for this paycheck budget worksheet. Everything pretty much went as planned, I think. But now let's go ahead and do the weekly check-in and figure out if we stuck to our variable spending budget, because this is where it can get dicey. So I'm going to go ahead and flip back to the calendar page where I keep track of all of my spending. Oops, I just bumped the camera there. Sorry, friends. And we're going to go ahead and figure out how the week went. So at the start of week 2, I had a starting balance of $17.47 for my food budget that was left over from the end of week 1, and I added $200 more. That's what we budgeted. Where was it? Right here. The $200 for food. So now we got to figure out what we spent. So I track all of my food spending in these yellow stickers. Here's my phone. I couldn't find it there for a minute. And we're just going to then add up all the yellow stickers for this week. So on Tuesday the 14th, we had 144 at Walmart and 35 at Popeyes. We did another $3 at Walmart, $5 at Circle K, 4 plus 10, for a total of $201. So you may be thinking, Jessie, what did you do? You only budgeted $200, right? We looked here, we saw $200 for food, but I did have that $17.47 left. So I took that 47 cents that I had left and I just dropped it in my change jar to make it an even number. So when I started the week, I actually had $217. I spent $201. So $217 minus $201 should leave me with $16 left in my envelope. So let's just go into my cash envelope here. I have my Conscious wallet. This is where I keep all of my cash envelopes. And let me just pull out my license so you guys can't find my address there. So if we go into my food envelope, there should be $16 remaining, and there is. So that is perfect. That went as expected. And now when I stuff my cash envelopes, I'll start with 16 and I'll add whatever I decide to add for the week. So that's perfect. Next up, we have gas. I typically track my gas transactions in this pink color. You can see there's no pink stickers. We didn't have to spend anything in gas this week. So we spent nothing, which means we should have a total of $58. I started with 8, I added 50. We didn't take anything away, so that should be $58 remaining in that envelope. So let's just see, this is my gas envelope. 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58. So I will have $58 to start week 3. And then if I decide to add anything, that will go in there as well. Okay, so next up is my spending, and just like with gas, I didn't spend anything. This is like the second week in a row I did not spend any of my spending money, which is really unusual for me, but I just haven't needed or wanted anything. So I started the week with 40. I added 40 more for a total of 80. We spent nothing, so there should still be $80 remaining in there. Once again, we'll flip to my envelope. 20, 40, 60, $80 still in there, waiting for me to get the urge to spend. So that takes care of that. Next up, we have miscellaneous. So I started the week with $20 and I added 20 more for a total of 40. My miscellaneous budget is written in this green color. You can see here I did spend $20. I gave it to my son Austin. He needed a few things, so let me go ahead and check all these off. So we spent 20. We had 40, we spent 20. That should mean that there's $20 remaining. And if we go into my miscellaneous envelope, you can see that that is exactly what is left. Now, we do have quite a bit of money here in my bank envelope. I need to make a run to the bank and deposit this. If at any time during the week I have my cash envelopes, but I use my card instead, which I do quite often actually to get the rewards points, I will just take the cash out of the envelope and stick it in my bank envelope to be deposited back into the bank to cover that transaction. So this has to go to the bank, but everything else is all kind of set and situated for me to start my new week. We did not have any unbudgeted expenses. You can see I track unbudgeted in this dark pink, and there was nothing this week, so that's good news. So we didn't add anything, we didn't spend anything, so we are still at negative $225 for the month. All right, friends, so I believe that's it. This was a super short and sweet video. I wanted to kind of get through it quickly and be able to prepare for the new week. Pretty uneventful. We're going to have some nice starting balances for when I stuff my cash envelopes. So yeah, so far I'm really liking the weekly check-in, and I'm really liking rolling money over week to week. Is working out really well. I'm finding that I'm spending less overall, which is weird. I thought if I had money left over, I would want to spend money more, but I think because I know that I can carry the balance over to next week, if I don't spend it, I don't have such an urge to spend because I know the money's not just going to go away if I don't spend it. Previously, when I was, you know, just kind of zeroing everything out at the end of the week, I knew that if I didn't spend my spending money, I was going to lose it. So I'm liking this a whole lot, and I'm really glad I decided to do this. So that's it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I'll see you next time.